check. We not take back no chest. You pep talk. Tiggity check. Hey girl, let's lay the shot. We know say why you don't want the drama. When Tyson rise up the llama, take the next topic. We're going to talk about Pac-Man in recess. Pac-Man strips, but he's in recess, but technically he's still strips. But so I did a little commentary about this when I found out the news at X o'clock in the morning, our time, UK time, about Manny Pacquiao being stripped from the WBA belt. I'm a Pacquiao fan, but what's fair is fair. I have been saying prior to that happening that Pacquiao should be stripped. If he doesn't fight, you're holding up the division, my G. WBA, like you want to be doing exhibition fights or not, as we're told. But if you want to do all of these types of exhibition fights, like leave the belt now and let some like the younger cats or the other cats in the division like have the belt or fight for the belt. I mean, so Ugas was elevated to super champ. That sounds so funny when you say it, super champ. It just doesn't sound real, does it? Super champ, but it sounds like, yeah. Anyway, I digress. Sorry. Yeah, so he's been elevated to super champ, and what I was trying to tell, I was speaking. I think it was Sunday, and I was like, everyone seems to be like, oh, Ugas, oh, he's not that. Bro, he's good. He is good. I've watched Ugas fights. Like he's a tall, very tall as a welterweight. I remember when he fought Sean Porter, and he rocked him, mate. He rocked him a few times. Yeah, Sean Porter got the decision. To me, Ugas is a hard hitter. He can keep you at range because he's so tall and quite gangly. And he rocked Porter, and he could fight. When Porter tried to come in on the inside, he gave him a few bangs. Hence why the whole thing went to points. I think he done well, and I think it's for me to see him fight Errol Spence, because Spence obviously ducking Bud because he thinks, all right, let me fight Ugas because this is the easier fight. You know when all of this type of mind frame gets introduced in the world of boxing, you know, like we've seen it with Deontay Wilder. You know that Errol Spence, you thinking that that's the easier route for you to go. Like Deontay Wilder thought a banged up Tyson Fury was an easier route to go. Backlash will happen, and you'll end up on your ass in the ring. And I love Errol Spence, but I'm just not rocking with the bullshit that he's on as well. So I'm excited to see if Ugas and Spence are actually going to fight, because otherwise, I don't know. Errol Spence is probably, like he said, he's going to leave the 147 division. And where did he say he's going? Did he go? Is he going 154 or 160? Where did he say he was going? He said he's going 154 or 160. Errol.
154.
Did he say he's going 154? Yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about the Manny Pacquiao beat. What do you think about that? And what do you think about the whole situation, like with Ugas and possibly Spence and the whole scenario? Let's go with Tril Bill.
Okay. First with Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao can do what he want to do. That's Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao is bigger than the belt. You know what I'm saying? They could whatever. They was like, Manny Pacquiao, you still the champion. You keep the belt at your house.
Yeah.
We just gonna say Ugas is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Manny Pacquiao, he can do whatever. I don't care. Manny Pacquiao deserves to do whatever he wants in this sport.
Give the belt, then. Do whatever. Give that belt the belt.
He don't need the belt. He's bigger than the belt. So if they want to say he's champion of recess and want to come back and fight for that belt when he wants to, then that's what's up. That's Manny Pacquiao. He can do what he wants to do. As far as Ugas getting the belt, it's cool. I think Ugas is the tough fighter. Like you said, that fight with Porter was a good fight. I actually thought I scored it for him. I actually thought he won that fight.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying? I thought he got robbed. You know what I'm saying? I thought did enough to point Porter, but Porter got friends in high places.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Porter got friends in high places, man. He's able to rock them ugly suits and get on TV. So shout out to Porter. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that man. He get to do his thing. But I like seeing the fighter, get that belt in the ring so he can cry in the ring with the belt. You know what I'm saying? Instead of being emailed the belt. You know what I mean? But
Haney.
Yeah, but other than that, shout out to Ugas. You know what I'm saying?
The email chat.
And as far as where Errol Spence goes, I think Earl was looking at it like if he got the belt, you know what I'm saying? This is not an easy fight at all. I don't think Earl take anybody lightly. I don't heard him say it before. He trains like these guys is coming for everything, for life.
So fight what then?
Earl going to fight Ugas he's thinking that this is a quicker way where he can get to undisputed, where he can grab another belt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think he's trying to look at it like, all right, cool. Butting them over there playing their games and we're going back and forth.
But
Why that's still
playing games?
Pardon me?
You think Bud's playing games?
I think both of them are. I think both guys are playing games. You know what I'm saying? They'll fight when they're ready.
Well, 10 years.
You know
like a Khan and Kell Brook trying to get it happening now.
Well,
I don't want to see it in 10 years.
Hey, it might be one of those Mayweather Pacquiao situations where people say the fight didn't happen when it was supposed to. But these guys are going to make it happen when it's going to happen. Right now, they trying to make sure the business is right. And I'm not even mad at them brothers for that because we've seen so many times, like I was just saying to I'm not mad at them making sure that the money is right. It's been so many times that we see our fighters. I love this sport so much. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna dog these brothers for trying to get their money right because I done seen so many fighters leave with nothing, die with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to Pernell Whitaker, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? All these great fighters. I got a chance to meet great fighters. I'm not gonna put their name out there and got a chance to shake their hands. I couldn't even have a conversation with them because I couldn't understand what they were saying.
I'm strong.
You know what I'm saying? And they wasn't able to be compensated well for being warriors. So there's no retirement fund for these warriors. They put it all on the line for us.
Yeah, well, they have to save some money to put in their little retirement fund. That's down to them. When you're self-employed, you got to set up a fund.
Yeah, these fighters are taking care of their families. They're taking care of other people's families. You know what I'm saying? People, I'm not, checking their pockets, but just know that these guys is out here taking care of their communities and other stuff. I always see these young fighters giving back and doing all this stuff. At the end of the day, when they're not fighting, they still got to pay these bills and stuff goes on. Like these guys, I'm not mad at these guys for trying to negotiate something for them to have in the future because this sport is a lonely sport and it's a big sport.
How much? Errol is saying he doesn't mind a 60-40 split then or
60-40 is fair.
Or 70-30. I think 70.
Nah, I mean, either listen, 60-40 is fair, especially if this guy's about to get 3 belts. This guy's about to get 3 belts.
So how much do you think is worthwhile asking, considering we're in a pandemic and money's not really that I don't know, I think you guys are in a bit of a better position because you guys can still charge gate money because you can have people coming into your venues where we're not really having that. So, I mean, is it to bear in mind that under current circumstances and conditions, that, your fee isn't going to be the top fee? Anthony Joshua took a lesser fee. Tyson Fury took a lesser fee. I think even Dillian took a lesser fee than he usually would. Like, everything's negotiable, but I mean, like, we want to see the fights, and it's commendable that they take care of their families and they take care of the community and stuff, and we get it. But you've got to bear in mind what's happening at this precise moment.
That's what I was saying. That this fight is not going to happen now, but it'll happen later. That's what I'm saying. They're doing this. We've seen this before. This is boxing. This has been going on since the beginning of times. We just seen this negotiating thing play out. Back in the 70s, they did it. In the 80s, they did it. This 90s, they did it. They just did it recently with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. This is the same. This is the game. You know what I'm saying? This is the soap opera of boxing. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get everybody interested, everybody fired up, and then eventually they're gonna give you this fight, and it's not gonna probably live up to what we're saying, and everybody's gonna be disappointed. But we got what we wanted, but we didn't get it when we wanted it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how this was going.
It's wild. I'm dying to see Bud and Spence.
Yeah, I'm dying to see it, but I don't think we're gonna see it anytime soon.
Sure. Fight fair figures. Why do I always have to do the ODB bit afterwards? Nobody gets what I do. When introducing the ghost face killer. No good fucking nigga. All right, yeah. Well, sorry, I just use it for your name now. Go, Lee.
Yeah, this is just. I can't imagine what it was like before, but it's just a frustrating time as a fight fan because the fights aren't the boxers are in a position now where they don't have to take the fights unless the conditions are how they want them. You know, the money's got to be right, and even like Billy Joe Saunders with the Canelo fight, he was making sure the money's got to be right, and he wants the right notice as well. So and he was quite happy to never have the fight if he wasn't given either of those two. And same thing with the Fury Joshua fight. That wasn't going to happen unless it was 50-50. If it wasn't through the Wilder fight blowing up with Fury, then he could then command it. But if that didn't happen, he couldn't command it. Who knows whether Joshua would have said to him, "You can have the 50-50 that he wants." And it's the same, and that was the same noise Deontay Wilder was saying as well. He wants 50-50 for the fight. So it's like unless everyone's happy with the conditions, there's a big chance that these fights won't happen. That's why you got a lot of hope with. I've got a little hope with Crawford and Spence for stepping in the ring. Because are they ever going to be able to reach a middle ground for that to happen? And it will be a shame. But I've come to accept that this is how it is, and who am I to demand that they fight? Because I'm not taking the punches, and I'm not doing the training camps for them. So
yeah, but we need to stop saying that like every minute. Oh, we're not taking the punches. Like, bruv, like see all the jobs that we do, yeah. Like we choose to do them, innit? So we can't go now being a boxer. Oh. You know what? I'm taking all these punches. We know you are taking all these punches. That is one of the criteria of being a boxer. Like, whatever job you're in, I'm not saying...
They're not duty bound to take the fights we want them to take, though. They're not duty bound.
No, but you're saying we're not the ones getting punched up in the ring and all of that. Yeah, well, bruv, then don't get punched up in the ring and stop being a boxer.
Yeah, we're not saying that. We're saying this. We're saying that these guys getting punched in the face, so they need to be compensated well. Being punched in the face. I think that's what Figures is trying to say. We're not the ones. We can't tell these guys when to fight because we're not the ones getting punched in the face. They got to make sure that they're right. Their paycheck is right before they go in there. We can't tell these guys what to do. That's what he's.
They got to fight. I can't be weighing up every fucking pro and con and every ism and schism. Bruv, you're a boxer. I get it. There's certain things that have to be put in place. But at the end of the day, you're a boxer and you got to fight.
Mm-hmm. You got to fight. I get that. You got to fight. But you be well compensated when you fight. Make sure you're good. You know what I'm saying? Because this sport.
Yeah. Dean, what do you think about that? Manny Pacquiao in recess and Errol Spence and Ugas.
Well, listen, like he said, listen, you got to commend Manny Pacquiao. That man's an old-ass motherfucker. He's about to become some Senate or whatever he's doing in his country. Yeah. And that man is business. That man is getting out beer money in his country. He's doing real business. He's doing real stuff with himself. He ain't out here. No offense to no one buying jewelry and cars and whatever. I'm not even trying to make no shade, but I mean, he doing real stuff in his community, in his country. He's trying to make a difference. It's crazy. You know, those kind of people who do that kind of thing, not to say Floyd probably does things in his own private way and whatever, but those kind of people in boxing only come along so often. The Manny Pacquiao, listen, for him to eat, I'm going to be honest with you, for him to even have beat Furman, which I thought he was going to get his ass smoked, my estimation of him went up even higher because I done thought that little dancing little guy was going to get his ass smacked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Punched up Furman. Listen, trust me, I thought he was done. He punched up Furman, and my head was like, huh? What is this? I'm witnessing. You know, like, and so when you look at his legacy, it's amazing. So I feel he deserves, because when someone's that kind of age, for them to recover, for them to go through training camps, it's a different process. I'm sure he's about my age or maybe a little bit younger than me or whatever. I can't remember. But trust me,
maybe.
them cooking, going through camp, I could imagine. So for him, you know what, he can do what he wants, and when he comes back, he shouldn't have to keep going through fighting contenders because they didn't beat him. He beat a man, he got a belt, and he needs to defend it when he wants and when he's ready. Plus, because he's doing the Senate thing, there's that in the way. Coming back to, who was the other one we were just talking about? What's the next one, sorry?
Ugas and Errol Spence.
Oh, Ugas. No, yeah, very, very, very good fighter. Very, very good fighter. I like his little style. Listen, I'm a big Spence fan. You know, I've actually been to, I think, a few. I went New York with Lamont Peters. I was in Texas against Mikey. I've been a few, and I think I was at one more somewhere. I can't remember, but I'm a big fan of Spence. He's a fellow Jamaican. Look, a yard man, American yard man. You get me? Yeah, and I'm friends with Derek James. You know, Derek James is he's a sound guy. Respect for him. He obviously won the Trainer of the Year, and I think rightly so. He's got the two boys there, unified champion. Listen, that fight with Bud, I'm a big fan of Bud as well. I messed with Bud and his guys because we was down in Nebraska with them when Dill fought on that show. So I kind of chop it up with those boys. It's kind of mad, that fight, but listen,
do you want to see the Bud and Spence
Crawford,
fight?
He's a genius.
Yeah, do you want to see it happen?
I think it will happen. Listen,
He's
made out of America. They just need to let me loose. They just need to let me loose. But what I will say is, like everyone's saying, look, we're in a pandemic. Whatever we think about this pandemic, the money isn't there right now because the gate needs to be there. And the first and foremost, I'm very sorry, these guys already put all the hard work in. So now it's the tail end of this is business. It's only business now. This is the tail end. This is, you know, that certain of them fights, they weren't getting paid pay-per-view money. They weren't getting paid certain money, percentages or whatever. Now they're at the tail end with the real business end where the real money and the chips are going down. They need to take their time and negotiate the right business, the right deal to get paid for, you know, future and so on. Like he said, you know, some guys come into this thing and leave with nothing. But at this time with COVID and everything that's going on, I don't think it should be rushed. These guys making these fights, I think they need to take their time. Things need to go back to normal, and they need to have a full capacity.
Oh, wait.
Back up, and then these man fight. I feel like you know. I don't see none of these boys being scared or anything like that. You know, it's quite weird. I was with Bud at the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, who was in Vegas, but I was with Kell Brook as well. So I was doing some interviews, and they kind of bumped into each other. And you see, Bud's a little bad boy. He was kind of by his jacks, but there was none of us. But he not listen. Trust me, he ain't scared though. But he's a game little sucker. So for me, I feel like, you know, like your man said, sure, that this however long it takes. I'm not sure it's gonna take as long as Pacquiao Mayweather because those guys were super mega stars. That's something totally different. The money what they were making and the money these guys are making, the percentage the agents were getting paid is probably what they're gonna get paid for their whole fight. You understand? It's totally different sheet, different cast, different ball game. So those two guys were probably like, I don't need you, sucker. I'm making my own sheet across this side of the street, and you over there, Buster. They probably just couldn't agree because I know they came together a few times, maybe back here, and it just didn't work out, and then they went their way. But I think these two, to get probably their biggest to date purse, them fighting each other for a number of belts, I think it's going to be tantalizing when it really does go down, and the fans are going to be well enjoyed because you know that because around the world everyone's been locked up and things ain't been going according. When things do go back, people will appreciate everything because no one in their right mind going back to say like November 2019 they would have ever foreseen. If I said that we would have gone down into a second year into lockdown, everything would be shut down, we'd never be able to go into arenas and decent travel, people probably wouldn't have believed it. So when all of this comes back around, people are going to embrace it, and it's just going to be amazing once it's all said and done and they're in there, these boys are fighting.
I don't know if everyone's forgetting that we don't know when anything's going to go back to normal, and if we just like say maybe
a couple of years. I like these guys are like 33, 34 already, 34. Like, so we're gonna see them fight at 36, 37.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen, Manny Pacquiao's 42.
Huh? Yeah, no. So, but all right, at least he's cemented like eight different weight cat champ, pound for pound. Like, he's solidified in that. Like, whether if Pacquiao does a fight in 2 years and we know that Pacquiao's going to be 45, cool. We're not going to be like, oh, mate, you've waited this long to do this, and mate, he's done everything, yeah. But these two, Bud and Spence, Crawford and Spence, they're already in there near enough to their mid 30s, if I'm correct, or 33, 34, and 34, 35. How long? Like, Spence has already said that he's moving up to. I think one of the guys on here said 154 in the comments as well. So, do you think Spence is going to wait 2 years before he goes up another weight cap? Nah, mate. If that fight ain't happening this year or the first quarter of 2022, you forget it. Spence is moving up, and that's done. Unless Crawford checkmates him and says, well, I'm moving up too, so there's no escaping me. I'm coming. Meet you at 154, bruv. Meet you there. Like, you get me? Unless that happens, then we may see it. But if if Bud is going to stay in 147, we're not going to see the fight. These lot are not young, fam. They're not young like that. Point blank. Silence.
I don't have hope it's going to happen. I just don't.
I know the fight's going to happen. The fight's going to happen.
When?
It's going to happen. Like, I don't. And these guys are not afraid of each other. These guys is warriors.
So when
they're not even. They just trying to make sure paper right. When the paper.
Yeah, all right, cool. So, but
I think it's going to happen. I predicted that it was going to happen in 22.
Not anything later than the first quarter, though, or maybe the first half. Okay, cool.
I believe it's going to happen in 22. Both guys, especially Bud. Bud need a fight. He need a fight. These guys, I don't. It's going to happen. I think the fight's going to happen. The fight's going to happen. It's just the business got to be taken care of. But the fight's eventually going to happen. They know the people want this fight. They can't duck each other. They know what it is. They got eyes. They see what's going on. And Spence is like, all right, why this is still going back and forth? Why not let me, try to, get another tough fight in there? Let me go in there and fight Ugas. And that's an easy fight that can be made because they both signed the PBC. So he's looking at why they're trying to do that. Why not let me collect some more hardware over here? So when I get to him, it'll be easier to make him undisputed.
Undisputed, yeah. I guess that Bud could be the icing on the cake. That fight, Errol could look at it as, all right, once I've done.
And then he'll move on. And then he'll move on to 154. And then the other Charlo will move up to 160. The other Charlo will move up to 168.
Yeah, yeah. True. That's a good point, actually. That that he may, Spence could leave Crawford to the end after he's cleaned up, taking the WBA belt off of Ugas, and then onto Crawford as the last thing, and then move up. That's a good point. Very good point. I'm just looking at it.